Tribe, I become invincible with my 10,000 times bonus from the start. Chapter 191, A Consensual Transaction. A few minutes later, Li Cheng shook his head and said with difficulty, "This involves the secrets of my god. I can't say anything more." Hearing this, the god of forging was also stunned. "This the moon dance goddess knows how to forge." The corner of Li Cheng's mouth twitched. Trelafani knew how to forge a hammer, but he shook his head and said, "No, I obtained the inheritance of another ancient god. But, I only got one of his divine artifacts and his name. As for the other information, I don't have it." Hearing this, the god of forging was shocked. Ancient god. Ancient gods represented the old gods who had been famous for at least tens of thousands of years. Most of them had fallen. As for how they fell, it was unknown. Perhaps only the goddess of darkness or the god of light knew these things. However, when other gods asked about these topics, they all chose not to talk about them. The god of forging hurriedly asked, "Master, can you tell me his name? This isn't good, right?" Li Cheng looked somewhat hesitant, but in the end, he still shook his head. The god of forging's expression froze. It would have been fine if Li Cheng had not said anything, but if he had said half of what he wanted to say, was this not keeping him in suspense? The god of forging's mind was filled with thoughts. Just which ancient god actually had such powerful forging techniques? Passing down an immortal-grade weapon and allowing a human to forge an immortal-grade weapon so easily? Thinking up to this point, the god of forging instantly became anxious. He felt like 10,000 ants were crawling within his heart, making it itch. His breathing was extremely hurried as he said, "Master, as long as you can tell me his name, I can give you everything I promised you, as long as I have the name." Hearing this, Li Cheng's eyes instantly lit up. This god of forging was indeed a smart person. "I've been waiting for you to say this." Li Cheng pointed at the city wall that had been damaged by the hammer of chaos and said, "Look, coincidentally, my city wall's a little damaged now." The god of forging did not think too much about it. He immediately took out a book from his backpack and said, "Master, take this. This is the highest level building repair technique." When Li Cheng took the book, the system notification rang in his ear. "Ding, dong, you've obtained the highest level building repair technique." Li Cheng naturally accepted the book without hesitation. Then, he coughed a few times and said, "I actually feel that if there was a better city wall, it might not get damaged so easily." After the god of forging heard this, he waved his hand and said, "This is a mythical grade city wall blueprint, Master, take it." Ding, dong, you've obtained the blueprints for the mythical grade rock fortress city wall. Is it really the blueprints for a mythical grade city wall? Li Cheng was stunned when he heard the notification, thinking that this brother was too generous. After receiving 2 items, Li Cheng knew the logic of quitting when things were good. In truth, he did not even care about the other items the dwarves had. He coughed again and said, "That ancient god's name is the god of science and technology. I only obtained one of his immortal weapons, so please, keep it a secret." After saying that, Li Cheng shared the attributes of the ancient god of science and technology's research log with the god of forging. After hearing what Li Cheng said, the god of forging was shocked, too. He was stunned, after which, his eyes dimmed. There's actually such a divine artifact. Forging technology. It seems that I've been stuck in a rut for the past few thousand years. So, the art of forging doesn't just involve forging, but also technology. After getting the information he wanted, Li Cheng did not say anything else to him and quickly sent him away. As for taking in a disciple, Li Cheng did not have the time. Li Cheng merely used the name of the god of science and technology to extort the god of forging. It was completely empty-handed. However, it was not exactly extortion as everything was completely voluntary. Didn't you see the expression of the god of forging before he left? It was as if he had won the lottery. As for whether he could obtain the inheritance of the god of science and technology, Li Cheng could only wish him good luck. The ancient gods had disappeared for tens of thousands of years. Without a great opportunity, it would be really strange if he could find even the slightest clue. In any case, Li Cheng had never heard of it. He did not believe that any ancient god could still fake a corpse. Li Cheng then looked at the things he had extorted, or rather, the things he had exchanged for. Highest level building repair technique. Description: the dwarven god of forging's repair technique, which has been further improved to the highest level building repair technique. It has an excellent effect on building repair. Level: Max. Effect 1, recovers 5% durability for immortal grade buildings. Effect 2, recovers 50% durability for mythical grade buildings. Effect 3, recovers 100% durability for legendary grade buildings and below. Cost: 500,000 crystals per time. Limit: to be used on single buildings. Recovers once every 24 hours. Looking at the attributes of the highest level building repair technique, Li Cheng felt that they were quite strong. It enabled him to recover 100% of durability for all legendary grade buildings and below in one go. For example, Li Cheng's current epic grade city walls could be repaired to full health, while half the durability could be recovered for mythical grade city walls. This was already very good. It must be known that city walls in the human empires were very difficult to repair. Some city walls could not be repaired for hundreds of years without using a high-level repair technique. However, the cost was also very terrifying. Each use required 500,000 crystals. If converted into real money, an ordinary person would not be able to earn this amount of money in their lifetime. Of course, for Li Cheng, there was no such problem. However, Li Cheng did not choose to repair his city walls that were already somewhat damaged. He had just obtained a mythical grade city wall. Why would he still use those rubbish city walls? When he thought of this, Li Cheng looked at the newly obtained blueprints. Rock Fortress City Wall Blueprint, Mythical. Description: with the special materials of the rock plane, the dwarves created a mythical grade city wall. The material is hard and almost immune to all physical damage. Even if a god descended, he would not be able to break through it in a short time. Level 1. Grade: Mythical. Construction cost: 1,000 sandstone core, 100,000 crystals. Seeing the description, Li Cheng's face displayed the joy he felt. It was indeed a mythical grade city wall. On top of that, it was ridiculously strong. Without thinking too much, he immediately started to build it. Chapter 192, Li Cheng, I'm invincible. Suddenly, the system's rumbling voice rang in Li Cheng's ears. Ding, dong, you're building the mythical grade rock fortress city wall. You've triggered the ancient god of science and technology's research log. Your city wall has been raised to the immortal grade. Ding, dong. Hearing this, Li Cheng was stunned. As expected, he had triggered the research log and the level of the wall had been raised. It was indeed a little ridiculous. The immortal grade city wall would take significant effort to destroy even if a god came in person. Thinking of this, Li Cheng quickly checked the attributes of the city wall. Rock Fortress City Wall. Description: through the special materials of the rock plane, the dwarves created a mythical grade city wall. The material is hard and almost immune to all physical damage. Even if a god came, he would not be able to destroy it in a short time. For unknown reasons, the grade of the city wall has been upgraded to immortal grade. Level 200. Grade: Immortal. Durability: 8 million. Defense: 5 million. Attribute 1, immune to physical damage from units below mythical grade. Attribute 2, immune to earth-type damage. The wall's magic damage resistance enjoys the bonus of territorial scientific research buildings, up to a maximum of 99%. Attribute 3, for troops in the main plane, damage health is reduced by 80%. Attribute 4, Divine Skill. Insufficient Divine Power. Unable to inspect. Attribute 5, Divine Skill. Insufficient Divine Power. Unable to inspect. Looking at the city walls attributes, Li Cheng's pupils constricted. They were ridiculously strong. Even the players in his previous life did not have a mythical grade city wall, not to mention an immortal grade city wall. If they had some of the Church of Light's epic grade city walls, they would be able to brag to their friends for the rest of their lives. As for an immortal grade city wall, Li Cheng was the only one who had it in the entire main plane. The durability of this city wall did not give any chance for other players to survive. Its attributes were also ridiculously strong. They were immune to physical damage from all mythical grade units and below. This meant that only the true bodies of gods could cause physical damage to the city wall. However, gods would rarely come to the mortal plane with their true bodies. This meant that the city wall was pretty much immune to all physical damage. Li Cheng was also stunned by the magic resistance of the city wall. Ridiculous, ridiculous, it could only be said to be ridiculous. His magic resistance had just reached 99.999% after being buffed by the ancient god of science and technology's research log. Hence, the magic resistance of all the city walls had also reached this value. When he thought of this, there was only one word in Li Cheng's mind: invincible. His city walls were almost immune to all physical and magic damage. Even if the goddess of magic had descended and cast a forbidden spell, it would only deal a little damage. How could others compare with this? If the evil forces sent another wave of monsters to attack his territory with this city wall in place, Li Cheng could have a barbecue with his female heroes and comment on their foolish actions of attacking his territory. Even if they fought for a few days and nights, the city wall would still be unbreakable. Moreover, the city wall had 2 divine power skills. The previous ones were already so strong, so they would definitely not be too weak. In other words, this meant that even if Li Cheng were to become a god, these city walls could still be used forever. With the new city walls, Li Cheng did not hesitate to tear down all of the Church of Light's city walls. In Li Cheng's current words, they were epic grade city walls. Even dogs would despise them and would not use them. Instantly, the territory rumbled non-stop. Ding, dong. You're building the mythical grade rock fortress city wall. You've triggered the ancient god of science and technology's research log. Your city wall has been raised to the immortal grade. Ding, dong, you're building the mythical grade rock fortress city wall. You've triggered the ancient god of science and technology's research log. Your city wall has been raised to the immortal grade. Ding, dong. Pearl looked thoughtfully at the changes in her territory. The originally pure white city walls collapsed with a rumble and were replaced by a simple and plain city wall similar to rock soil. She blinked, not knowing what her lord was trying to do. Even the epic grade city walls had been torn down. When she thought of this, Pearl immediately cast a scouting spell on the new city walls. As soon as she saw the new city walls' attributes, her eyes widened and her mouth hung open, so wide that they could fit a few eggs. She was completely shocked by the new city walls' attributes. Li Cheng replaced all the epic grade city walls with immortal grade city walls. Coincidentally, he managed to obtain the materials needed to build these walls from the 2 events, and it was completely inexhaustible. Thus, he did not have to worry about the materials anymore. After doing all this, Li Cheng finally had time to look at the pitch-black staff in his hand. Evil God's Staff, Immortal. Description: it is rumored that when the god of creation created the lost continent, 3 powerful evil gods broke through the universe and forcefully entered the lost continent. Even the god of creation was unable to completely kill them. They could only be sealed in a special plane. This staff came from an evil god. However, for some unknown reason, this staff became even more powerful. Grade: Immortal, Tier 9. Type: Hero Equipment. Level: 200. Location: Weapon. Attack: 9000 Intelligence. Attribute 1, Equipment usage requirement, 2000 intelligence. No level restriction. Attribute 2, carries unlucky value of 99,999. This effect is the highest and cannot be removed by other buffs. Attribute 3, intelligence and magic damage increased by 5000%. Attribute 4, heavenly jealousy, the evil god's attack carries a strong curse. As long as the enemy is killed, its intelligence value will be devoured. Effect, devours 1000 intelligence from killed target. Attribute 5, evil god's descent, insufficient divine power, unable to view. Attribute 6, source of disaster, insufficient divine power, unable to view. When Li Cheng saw the attributes of the evil god's staff, his pupils could not help but shrink. If he had not shared this item with the goddess of luck, even if he had brought it with him, he would have been turned into an unlucky fellow like Peerless Pride. On the other hand, the attributes of the staff shocked Li Cheng. Immediately, 10,000 alpacas floated in Li Cheng's heart as he muttered to himself, "Is this the power of the evil god?" He had truly fallen in love. Its damage factor was so high that it was terrifying. Even if a trash player brought it with him, he could easily kill a gold-grade boss. Meanwhile, its few skills were also ridiculously terrifying. Chapter 193, Soldier Awakening. The name of this skill, Heaven's Jealousy, was enough to tell of its power. Even the heavens were jealous of it. It could be said that it was extremely abnormal. The units that were killed would have their intelligence permanently reduced by 1000. One had to know that the players at the current stage were far from this number. In other words, if they were killed by Li Cheng, their intelligence would become negative. If one was just a normal soldier, it would be fine, but if one were a mage, it would be a nightmare. Basically, a mage would not do any damage when casting skills, and the priest would not be able to heal the mage's health. Just thinking about it, Li Cheng felt that it was a little ridiculous. It could be said that anyone from the mage class he killed could simply delete their accounts and start over after that. What was even more terrifying was that this skill did not have a cooldown period. If he targeted Peerless Prideful in the future, would his intelligence be reduced to an infinitesimal amount? At the same time, as the staff of the evil god, it naturally had a divine power skill. This also meant that after Li Cheng became a god, the staff could still be used for a long time. After everything, Li Cheng sent all the Rose Guild players away. He also took back his access to the teleportation portal. Then, he sent all his troops to eat and rest. At this time, Lillian was preparing dinner for everyone. The aroma of roasted meat soon filled the air. Li Cheng casually sat on the grass with a big wolf leg in his hand. Suddenly, a slender figure with golden light flashed past his heroines. Pointy ears, fair skin, a golden princess dress, and an exquisite and dreamy face. Other than the elf princess Raya, there was no one else like that in the world. Raya adjusted her dress and sat down next to Li Cheng. She was so close to him that Li Cheng could even smell her scent. His few heroines looked at him unkindly, but Li Cheng did not say anything. They did not do anything either. Raya ignored the unfriendly looks from the women. Smiling at Li Cheng, she said, "Duke Netherworld, if I'm not wrong, the immortal weapon you used before was the legendary Dragon Soul, right?" Li Cheng's expression did not change as he bit into the wolf leg, asking curiously, "What soul?" "Dragon Soul," Raya repeated. "Dragon what?" Li Cheng's lips curled into an evil smile as he looked playfully at Raya. When she heard this, Raya blinked and stopped talking. The few heroines also looked at each other, suppressing their laughter. The Dragon Soul, a super powerful immortal weapon. Perhaps it even had the secret of the dragon race hidden behind it. Such things naturally had to be kept a secret, even if Raya showed enough goodwill. Raya looked at Li Cheng with a laugh as she continued, "Duke Netherworld, even if there aren't that many immortal weapons in the Elven Empire, there are still enough for me. I don't covet your weapon. The Dragon Soul. I've only read about it in the ancient books of the races, and I heard it's a powerful weapon comparable to the fury of the stars. Hearing Reiya's words, Li Cheng no longer wanted to joke around. He asked, "Fury of the stars?" If he remembered correctly, this Fury of the Stars was a supreme immortal weapon of the Elven tribe, and its grade was probably extremely high. Hee. It's this bow. Seeing Li Cheng's reaction, Reiya smiled. She gently flipped her fair palm and immediately, an exquisite longbow that emitted a faint light appeared. This was a dark grey bow. The bow's body was wrapped in a 5-colored metal sheet. Light blue gemstones were embedded in it, and on each end of the bow's body were crystals that emitted a faint light. The arm guard in the middle of the bow was in the shape of a bird spreading its wings, complementing the shape of the metal armor on the bow body. The entire bow was shaped like a phoenix spreading its wings and flying high. Seeing Reiya take out the bow, Li Cheng's eyelids twitched. He immediately cast a detection spell, and soon, the information about the bow appeared in front of him. Fury of the Stars, Immortal. Description: it is rumored that it is a supreme artifact created by a blacksmith master with the power of the stars. As long as one draws the bow, it will resonate with countless stars and trigger a terrifying amount of energy. Grade: Immortal, Tier 9. Type: Hero Equipment. Location: Weapon. Level: 200. Attributes: Level 200 Tier 9 Immortal Weapon. Li Cheng took in a cold breath when he saw the attributes. This elven princess was really generous. Was she really not afraid of him killing her and stealing it? Of course, Li Cheng already had a few supreme immortal weapons in his hands. He was not inexperienced, so his expression was very calm from the start. Reiya saw every expression on Li Cheng's face, smiling as she said, "This was specially made for me by a certain master. If you want it, I can give it to you." Speaking up to this point, Reiya paused before continuing, "Of course, the prerequisite is to marry me." Hearing this, Li Cheng was speechless. Was this elven princess really that thirsty? Was she not going to let go of him? Then, forgive me for rejecting. Hearing this, Reiya smiled slightly and did not mind. Her refined eyes looked at Li Cheng's territory. Finally, her gaze fell on the frost marksman. She slowly said, "These elves aren't bad. Even in the elven forest, they can be considered a very strong army. However, they have the potential of becoming stronger. Duke Netherworld, if you have the time, you can come to the elven forest to try the soldier awakening." As Reiya's voice fell, the system notification rang in Li Cheng's ears. "Ding, dong, you've obtained the optional mission, Frost Marksman Soldier Awakening." Soldier Awakening. Hearing these 4 words, Li Cheng was a little surprised. Soldier awakenings were countless times rarer than the soldier trials. Generally speaking, only legendary and crown military branches had the possibility of going through a soldier awakening, but the probability was still pitifully low. After a soldier awakening, the attributes of the soldier type would increase greatly. It could even break through their grades. In other words, a legendary soldier had the chance to become a crown soldier. Li Cheng did not know what would happen if a champion soldier participated in the soldier awakening. He had never heard of it before, even in his 2 lifetimes. Hence, he could not help but feel a little expectant. Chapter 194, Head to the City of Light. Thinking of this, Li Cheng nodded and said, "If I have time, I'll go." After receiving Li Cheng's confirmation, Reiya relaxed and said with a smile, "This is the Elven Forest Teleportation Scroll. Ding, dong. You've obtained 99,999 Elven Forest Teleportation Scrolls." As the system's voice fell, countless teleportation scrolls that were emitting a faint green light appeared in Li Cheng's backpack. Teleportation scrolls had to be personally crafted by legendary masters who were at least proficient in spatial magic. It was even more convenient than the Astral Gate. After all, ever since the goddess of space disappeared, the various human kingdoms no longer had anyone who could craft such teleportation scrolls. This elven princess in front of him had 100,000 of them. Just how rich was she? After doing all of this, Rhea stood up elegantly. She looked into Li Cheng's eyes and said, "Farewell, Duke Netherworld. I look forward to our next meeting." At that moment, a gentle breeze blew her golden hair, a few strands sticking to her delicate face. Li Cheng was stunned for a moment. After Rhea bid him farewell, she crushed a teleportation scroll and brought her 3 million elven guards with her. As the teleportation light descended, countless figures disappeared into thin air. After they left, Lillian frowned and asked, "Lord, do you know what the elven race is up to?" Li Cheng shook his head and said, "I don't know either." Logically speaking, his territory was still very weak in front of the Elven Empire. Why would they do so many unimaginable things? If it was anyone else, they would not have sensed that something was wrong. Still, Li Cheng could not figure out exactly what was going on. Luna hesitated for a moment and said, "Lord, I don't feel any malice from her." Hearing this, Li Cheng nodded. "The Elven Forest. Go if you have time." At this time, Sylvia looked at Li Cheng unhappily and asked, "Human, when are we going to hunt other dragons? How many times have I said it? Call me my lord, Sylvia." Li Cheng raised his eyebrows. "Hee, you pervert. What do you want?" Sylvia sneered in response. It was obvious that she had been thinking of Lillian and Li Cheng's deeds. Li Cheng narrowed his eyes slightly and glanced at her with an extremely dangerous gaze. Seeing this, Sylvia's heart jumped. She dodged his gaze and twirled her fingers around the hem of her dress. After a while, she said, "Lord, since I'm being forced to do it anyway." Li Cheng rolled his eyes. This arrogant frost dragon princess. He could not be bothered to teach her a lesson. Instead, he thought about her words and fell into deep thought. Sylvia quickly said, "That's right. As long as I subdue the chromatic dragons, I can rebuild the dragon empire." Subdue the chromatic dragons? Let's talk about the black dragons first. Their lairs are open to the public. Why don't you go fight them? Li Cheng said as he looked at her speechlessly. Upon hearing this, Sylvia's aura instantly withered. The black dragons were the race that had the highest magic research and strongest dragon's breath among the chromatic dragons. Although they were all champion troops, these champion troops were also divided into stronger and weaker ones. Whether it was in terms of physical strength or magic, the black dragons were stronger than the frost dragons. Moreover, there were many of them and they were very united. Currently, their loyalty was pledged to an extremely powerful demon king's daughter. If they wanted to subdue the black dragons now and duplicate by a few million, there was only a small possibility of success. Otherwise, they would not even think about it. They would just be offering themselves up as food to their table. The two more powerful dragon kinds are scattered. There are very few that live in different areas. It would be very difficult to subdue them. Hearing this, Sylvia sighed. Suddenly, her eyes lit up. Why don't you become a son-in-law? For example, a stellar dragon. Hearing this, Lillian and Luna cast a few hostile gazes at her. Sylvia immediately trembled and quickly waved her hands. Sisters, I'm just joking. Let's take it one step at a time. Our main goal now is to accumulate strength. Li Cheng smiled and shook his head. There was still some time before the guild's secret realm opened. Li Cheng was ready to use one of his duke's privileges exchanging for a divine territory. A divine territory sounded very grand, but in reality, it was a territory that was divided by the various human empires that were specially given to the various churches. Usually, these territories would be given a certain amount of divine spells by the corresponding gods which could be relatively prosperous. After sending the members of the Rose Guild away, Li Cheng headed to the City of Light through the territory's teleportation portal. The moment Li Cheng walked out of the portal, the voice of the system rang in his ears. Ding, dong. Respected Duke of the Church of Light, welcome back to the City of Light. Ding, dong. The current city manager is Commander Vic. Ding, dong. As the Duke of the Church of Light, Li Cheng's authority had far exceeded that of Commander Vic. At this time, all the information about the situation in the City of Light, including its paladins, missionaries, resources, and so on, was presented in front of Li Cheng on an information panel. Looking at the information displayed before him, Li Cheng found that it was completely intact. The buildings were not damaged at all and the residents had started to return to their normal lives. Thinking of this, Li Cheng sneered. The monster siege was indeed a desperate act of the goddess of darkness. They still could not fight head-on with the kind camp, especially before the goddess of darkness had fully recovered from her injuries. After this wave, Li Cheng was sure that their strength had been severely damaged. A few minutes later, under the devout and fanatical gazes of countless paladins, Li Cheng arrived at the deepest part of the church. Commander Vic and the two archbishops were studying something at the round table. When they saw Li Cheng, their eyes lit up and they immediately stood up and said, "Duke Netherworld, thank you for everything you've done today. We already know the will of our God. We hope that you can continue to fight for the good." Li Cheng waved his hand and stopped the three of them from flattering him. The God of Light must have given them an explanation already, so Li Cheng was too lazy to talk to them. He immediately told them the purpose of his trip: "I want to exchange for a divine territory." One of the archbishops nodded. With a wave of his hand, pure white magical power formed a map with a few locations marked on it. These are the addresses of all the divine territories of our church. Of course, you can also choose the divine territories of other gods. If you aren't satisfied, you can also negotiate with the few great empires and have them draw out new divine territories. As the archbishop's voice fell, the voice of the system suddenly rang. Chapter 195, The Super-Large Guild Secret Realm, Death Desert. Ding, dong, all divine territories have been marked on your map. Ding, dong, Archbishop Arunda has given you full authority over the negotiations of the divine territories. You can negotiate with the various kingdoms. The God-given title was something created by the United Front of the Good Camp. The goal was naturally to have everyone work for them. Li Cheng pondered for a moment and sneered in his heart. Giving him full authority was just to get him to argue with the human empires. Thinking of this, Li Cheng chuckled. His divine territory could be located anywhere. After all, they were going to move to the floating island eventually. The bonus of the floating island was much greater than a divine territory. Anyway, he chose a plane that was very close to the Kingdom of Kent, the kingdom that once divided the land. There were not many resource points around, but Li Cheng did not need the resources from the resource points. After choosing the divine territory, Li Cheng said, "My vassal lords unable to use ordinary relocation tokens. Give me a few of the highest grade ones." Hearing this, the corners of the three people's mouths twitched. The highest grade relocation tokens? These things were extremely rare, especially after the disappearance of the space goddess. After using them, even a super-large city like the City of Light could be relocated. Li Cheng believed that the Church of Light still had some in stock, but they probably would not have too many. After a few minutes, Commander Vic reluctantly handed over a token that was emitting a mysterious light. Ding, dong. You've received one highest level relocation order. Highest level relocation order. Description: a relocation order personally made by the goddess of space. It contains the supreme power of space. Level 1. Effect: the territory will be relocated to its current location. The relocation order has no cooldown limit. It also ignores the size and status of the territory. The effect of the most advanced relocation order was significantly different compared to ordinary relocation orders. With such a relocation order, no matter what state one's territory was in, it would be forcibly relocated. For example, if one's territory was being attacked and on the verge of collapsing, the enemy would not be able to do anything if one used the highest level relocation order to escape the attacks. Previously, Pearl had already used a relocation order. Hence, the normal relocation order was in its cooldown state. However, the most advanced relocation order did not have such problems. Naturally, Cheng accepted it without hesitation. At the same time, he rolled his eyes in his heart. It was just one highest level relocation order, right? What was the point of being so coy? When the goddess of space returned, such an item would at least be. Well, it would cost a few billion gold coins, but the Church of Light was a big business. They would not need to care about such a thing, right? Thinking about these questions in his mind, Cheng put the relocation order into his pocket and was about to leave when he was stopped. Duke Netherworld, wait. It was Commander Vic. What? Cheng asked. We're preparing to launch a large-scale counterattack against the evil forces. We hope that you can give us some guidance on the relevant battle plans, Vic said with some embarrassment. Previously, Cheng had directly slapped them in the face during the battle conference, even overturning their battle plans. This was enough to prove that Cheng's strategic vision was extremely high. Hence, they naturally had to ask for Cheng's opinion again this time. Hearing Vic's words, Cheng pondered for a moment. According to the current situation, this was yet another super large-scale battle. With his current status as a duke, he could completely lead the battle, and he could also issue high-level confidential missions. Thinking of this, how could Cheng not tag along and run some operations? He said, let's postpone the plan for now. When the time comes, my men will take charge of this battle. Hearing Cheng's words, the two archbishops and Vic nodded and said, no problem. After leaving the City of Light, Cheng and Sylvia flew toward the Kingdom of Kent. Half an hour later. Ding, dong. You're about to move your territory to the current coordinates. Do you want to confirm? Confirm. Cheng did not hesitate to press the confirm button. Rumble. The ground and the mountains shook as mysterious spatial fluctuations flashed. In the next moment, Cheng's territory suddenly appeared around him. At the same time, a series of system notifications appeared in his ears. Ding, dong. You've successfully used the highest level relocation order. Territory migration was successful. Ding, dong. Your current territory belongs to the divine territory of the Church of Light. Please, ensure the legitimacy of the territory. Or else, you'll be attacked by the Church. Ding, dong. Your current territory belongs to the divine territory of the Church of Light. You've also triggered a 10,000 times increase. The territory will enjoy the following bonuses. First, all defensive structures gain a 1000% increase in attack, range, and attack speed. Second, all resource points output gains a 1000% increase. Third, all Church of Light troops gain a 1000% increase in attack and defense. Looking at the attributes of the divine territory, Cheng was shocked. He did not expect that the attributes of a divine territory could also be increased by the 10,000 times amplification system. Divine territories had some special bonuses. In his previous life, there was a count who had a small divine territory. However, Cheng remembered that his attributes seemed to be rubbish. As for Cheng, his current attributes were filled to the max. He was especially satisfied with the bonuses of the defensive buildings. Many of his equipment was not effective on buildings, but this wave of bonuses made up for the gap. The output of the resource points was also considered good. If combined with the hourglass of time, he could earn countless gold coins just from the resource points output alone. Time flew by, and 3 hours passed. At this time, all the troops of his guild had gathered. Cheng opened the Guild Secret Realm page. Many Guild Secret Realms could be accessed here, from small to super large. 1. Goblin Kingdom, Small Secret Realm. 2. Death Ants, Small Secret Realm. 3. Land of the Wandering Soul, Medium Secret Realm. 4. Dark Academy, Medium Secret Realm. 20. Death Desert, Super Large Secret Realm. To open a secret realm, a certain amount of guild funds were required. 10,000 in funds were required for small secret realms, and at most, there would be a gold boss. 100,000 in funds were required for medium secret realms, and at most, a diamond boss would appear. Large-scale secret realms required 1 million in funds. At most, epic bosses would appear. Super large-scale secret realms required 10 million in funds, and there would definitely be a legendary grade boss. The secret realms that a guild opened every week could be considered a measure of a guild's strength. Li Cheng happened to have 10 million in guild funds. Naturally, he wanted to open a super large-scale secret realm. Ding, dong. You're about to consume 10 million in guild funds to open a super large-scale secret realm, Death Desert. Do you wish to confirm? Chapter 196, March into the Death Desert. Ding, dong. You're about to use up 10 million in guild funds to open a super large-scale secret realm, Death Desert. Do you wish to confirm? Confirm. Ding, dong. Guild announcement. Guild leader Netherworld has opened a super large-scale secret realm, Death Desert. The teleportation portal has appeared in the territory of all members. Guild announcement. Death Desert is a large-scale secret realm. This secret realm will be open for 3 days. All members, please, hurry up and explore it. As the system's voice faded, a faint yellow teleportation portal suddenly appeared in Li Cheng's territory. Seeing the teleportation portal open, Li Cheng did not hesitate and directly led his troops into it. Ding, dong. You've entered the super large-scale guild secret realm, Death Desert. Ding, dong. Due to unknown reasons, all your troops' attack and defense stats have been decreased by 50%. Ding, dong. The area is extremely hot. Please, replenish your water in time. A yellow energy wave spread out and all the troops had an additional debuff, reducing their attack and defense by 50%. When the guild members entered the map, the originally quiet secret realm immediately became lively. Woohoo! Time to take off. Netherworld boss is awesome. He immediately opened a super large-scale guild secret realm. What are the rewards after clearing a secret realm like this? Wow, it actually reduced our attack and defense by half. Isn't this too difficult? Ah, this is really it. Netherworld boss, it's all up to you now. Take us flying. The players were in an uproar. Li Cheng dug his ears and called Pearl and Little Rain over. The guild's member list was already full. The upper limit was 5 million people. This number could be said to be very large. Excluding those who could not come over due to matters in the real world and those who were temporarily raiding other secret realms, the number of people who entered the guild's secret realm was more than 4,800,000. For every 10,000 people, Little Rain had chosen a team leader. This way, it would be easier to manage the troops. Li Cheng checked the rating points of the secret realm. Every guild's super large secret realms had rating points, and as the rating points increased, the corresponding rewards would be unlocked. 1000 points 10 basic life potion. 3000 points 50 basic life potion. 5000 points 50 basic magic potion. 10,000 points 50 basic speed scroll. 20,000 points 50 basic battle cry scroll. 30,000 points 50 basic rage scroll. 100,000 points Bramble Centaur Recruitment Authority. 150,000 points Bramble Shell, Gold Grade Army Equipment. 5 million points Unknown. 10 million points Unknown. The highest reward for the event was 10 million points. After the 10th reward, the reward was unknown. Looking at these rewards, Li Cheng was deep in thought. As long as he got 100,000 points, he would be able to obtain a decent front row meat shield soldier, the Bramble Centaur. This soldier was a tier 5 soldier with high HP. The damage it received could be returned to the enemy in a certain ratio. If he got 150,000 points, he could also exchange for the exclusive gold-grade equipment of these Bramble Centaurs. Moreover, he would not just obtain the soldiers but their recruitment authority. This was already a pretty good deal. Although Li Cheng himself did not like it, to the guild members, it would be a pretty good soldier. In reality, the rewards displayed by the system were not of much use to Li Cheng. However, the guild secret realms points were calculated individually. If Extreme God unlocked the Bramble Centaurs, their combat power would definitely increase by a large margin. Thinking of this, Li Cheng opened the map, marked a few locations on it, and ordered, Pearl, lead half of your people to raid the bosses and wild monsters at points A, F, G, and H. Rich Lady, lead the other half of your people to raid points B, K, and E. Speaking up to this point, Li Cheng paused for a moment before continuing, try to find out the attributes of the monsters there as soon as possible and give everyone a guide. Li Cheng took a look. These few spots had relatively low-level monster nests and they would respawn repeatedly. In 3 days, as long as they put in a little bit of effort, it would be no problem for them to obtain 150,000 points. Of course, all of this still depended on the players' hard work. Those who did not meet the standards would be kicked out. Li Cheng's place was not a charity hall that could accommodate freeloaders. Those who could not keep up with the team would be cleared out immediately. Hearing Li Cheng's words, Pearl nodded obediently while Little Rain rolled her eyes at Li Cheng. She was a little repulsed by the term rich lady, but she quickly sent messages to the group leaders excitedly. It was her first time commanding such a large-scale battle. She had long forgotten that little bit of dissatisfaction in her heart. After everything was set up, the players valiantly followed their leaders to explore the wilderness. Li Cheng also began to lead his troops. However, Li Cheng's marching direction was different as he headed toward the most dangerous area on the map. After more than 10 minutes, the desolate desert in front of him suddenly turned green. He could even feel the aura of a lake nearby. The Death Desert map was very special. Players and all the troops would lose water on this map, so they had to replenish their water every hour. If not, the troops would lose HP accordingly. If they needed to replenish their water, they had to either go to some oasis in the desert or return to their territory through a teleportation portal. Otherwise, the troops might die of thirst. There were countless oases on the map and players would usually not venture too far from the teleportation portal. If they could not find an oasis to go to, they would return to their territory to replenish water. Searching for an oasis in the desert was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Li Cheng had seen the entire map in his previous life and knew the location of some oases. However, he looked at the oasis in front of him. Instead of leading his troops in, he sneered and made a hand gesture. Roar! 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 Countless frost dragons immediately washed the ground with their dragon's breath, covering the entire territory with azure energy. In an instant, the originally calm oasis suddenly rang with shrill screams as countless huge lizards shot up from the ground. Their health bars disappeared in an instant. Then, their corpses fell to the ground weakly. At the same time, the system's voice rang in Li Cheng's ears. Chapter 197, Unlocking a Hidden Storyline Under the Desert. Ding, dong. Your troops have killed 5,000 Tier 5 giant camouflage lizards and obtained 250 experience points and 25 battle points. Ding, dong. You've triggered a 10,000 times increase and obtained 2,500,000 experience points and 250,000 battle points. Ding, dong. Ding, dong. You've accumulated 1,000 battle points. The corresponding rewards have been distributed. Ding, dong. You've accumulated 3,000 battle points. The corresponding rewards have been distributed. Ding, dong. These giant camouflaged lizards had a skill that allowed them to blend in with the desert. In Li Cheng's current life, they were old C***NTS, but in his previous life, many players had fallen at their hands. The frost dragon's breath had directly killed more than 400,000 giant camouflaged lizards. The battle points also triggered a 10,000 times increase, earning him a whopping 4,680,000 battle points in a single wave. Half of the rewards were already in his hands. However, Li Cheng did not care about this at all. He led his troops directly into the oasis. Suddenly, the system's voice sounded. Ding, dong. Your troops have been replenished. In the oasis, Li Cheng signaled for his troops to reorganize themselves. He opened the map and looked at it. Although it was a super large-scale secret realm, the highest level boss was a legendary boss. The grade was not that high. His goal was to obtain some resource points. In the guild's secret realm, he could explore resource points and conquer monsters' lairs to obtain guild funds. After a while, Li Cheng closed the map and stood up. He waved his hand and said, "Let's go. Since we have nothing to do tonight, let's go get some guild funds." Following Li Cheng's order, the large group began to travel across the entire map. Using his memory, Li Cheng walked along the oases and explored the surrounding resource points. Ding, dong. You've discovered a small resource point. You've obtained 100 guild funds. You've also triggered a 10,000 times increase and obtained 1,000,000 guild funds. Ding, dong. You've discovered a medium resource point. You've obtained 500 guild funds. You've also triggered a 10,000 times increase and obtained 5,000,000 guild funds. Ding, dong. You've discovered a large resource point. You've obtained 1,000 guild funds. You've also triggered a 10,000 times increase and obtained 10,000,000 guild funds. Ding, dong. A small-scale resource point provided 100 guild funds, a medium-scale one had 500, and a large-scale one had 1,000. However, Li Cheng had triggered the 10,000 times amplification system, so the growth of the guild funds could only be described as terrifying. Even if he were to only find small resource points, other guilds would require a long period of time to accumulate the same amount of funds as he did. It was also because of this that Li Cheng did not issue any missions to the guild members to collect the guild funds. A few hours later, in front of an oasis, Li Cheng let out a light sigh. After a few hours of running, the guild funds had directly reached a terrifying 1.8 billion. This figure was enough to make other guilds blush with shame even after a year. One had to know that guild funds could not be replenished. They could only rely on the members to accumulate it bit by bit. Meanwhile, the secret realm's rating points had reached 4.9 billion, close to 5 billion. Along the way, Li Cheng had killed every wild monster he saw. Now, he had all of the rewards in his hands. Scorching Scroll, Intermediate Life Potion, Desert Ant Army Summoning Scroll, Frost Scroll, Diamond Grade Yellow Sand Blade. To Li Cheng, these were all useless things. Li Cheng waved his hand again and the dragon army immediately washed the ground with dragon's breath. Again, a large number of giant camouflaged lizards died, followed by the system notifications. Ding, dong. Your troops have killed 5,000 Tier 5 giant camouflaged lizards. You've obtained 250 experience points and 25 battle points. Ding, dong. You've triggered a 10,000 times increase and obtained 2,500,000 experience points and 25,000 battle points. Ding, dong. You've accumulated 5 billion battle points. You've successfully triggered a hidden storyline. Ding, dong. You've accumulated 5 billion battle points. The corresponding rewards have been distributed. Hearing the system's voice, Li Cheng was surprised. He had not expected that there would be a hidden storyline. Moreover, it required a total of 5 billion battle points to unlock. If it was not for the 10,000 times amplification system, Li Cheng really could not think of anyone who could obtain 5 billion battle points in the guild's secret realm. At this moment, an optional quest appeared in Li Cheng's quest pane. Under the desert. Description: under the yellow sand that filled the sky, there seems to be a secret hidden. Quest nature: hidden only. Mission difficulty. Mission reward. Other than a description, the rest were a series of question marks. Li Cheng frowned slightly when he saw this. In the desert, he had never heard of this mission in his previous life. Li Cheng was confused. Fortunately, the mission had given him instructions, or else, he would not have been able to do it. He glanced at the map. It was very far away and it would take him a few hours to get there. The main purpose of the journey was to march along the oasis. Otherwise, they would not be able to replenish the water the army needed. Thinking of this, Li Cheng took a deep breath and stopped exploring the resource points. Instead, he ordered Lillian to use Shadow Rapid March. She crushed a speed scroll in her hand and they began to march at full speed. While Li Cheng was bustling with excitement, the other players were feeling terrible. Terrible. I was too late. I almost joined Extreme God. I heard that Extreme God has opened up a super large-scale guild secret realm. It's said that after 3 days, everyone will be able to obtain a Tier 5 meat shield soldier. Moreover, they've got a super strong buff. Now, everyone's very happy in that guild. I cried out loud. Back when Extreme God was recruiting, King hesitated for a second. In that 1 second, all the spots were filled. CKME. When did the big boss start recruiting? Save a spot for me. Sigh, I took a wrong step, and now, every subsequent step is wrong. We can only wait for the next round of recruitment. The ordinary players were frustrated that they did not join Extreme God immediately. The current members of Extreme God were quite graceful on the forum. They even posted a few guild buffs and screenshots of the super large-scale guild secret realms. The result was obvious. All the other players were crying with greed and envy. They hated themselves for being 1 second too late in the beginning. Otherwise, they would have been the ones who were so happy right now. However, it was too late. They could only wait and see when Li Cheng would start recruiting again. As for waiting for someone to quit Extreme God, no one would be so stupid, right? Chapter 198, Conflicting Quests. As for Purple Rose, she was in an even more awkward situation. She had completely forgotten about the announcement. After all, she still had a lot of core members. There was still a lot of work to be done, so she was not in a hurry to recruit new members. Purple Rose said with a depressed expression, "How can Extreme God open a super large-scale guild secret realm? Doing so would require a total of 10 million guild funds." Although Extreme God was currently the #1 guild in the world, what she did not understand was where did Li Cheng get 10 million in funds. It must be known that Rose Guild, the second guild in the world, currently only had 1,000 in guild funds that were awarded by the system. She could not even open a small guild secret realm, not to mention a super large guild secret realm. The members of Rose Guild could only feel envy and jealousy in the face of Extreme God. They could not afford to open a large-scale guild secret realm, nor could they afford all kinds of buffs. In comparison, they were like heaven and earth. "Big sister, let's go do a quest." "That's right. Isn't it just 10 million guild funds? We sisters can get it in a few minutes. If I didn't have a guild withdrawal CD, I'd really like to join Extreme God. After I finish clearing the guild secret realm, I'll run back here." "Ah, that's a good idea. You're such a smart kid. It's a pity that there's a guild withdrawal CD. After I withdraw, I can't join the guild for a month. Then, let's go to the Liver Guild for funds." Hearing the members' words, Purple Rose felt a warmth in her heart. These crazy sisters could always comfort her during critical moments. Purple Rose snorted in her heart. Wasn't it just 10 million in guild funds? She did not believe that she could not get the liver out within a week. However, as soon as this idea popped up, it immediately died down. It seemed that it would be a little difficult to get a liver out within a week. How about a month? Thinking of this, Purple Rose felt discouraged again. After establishing the guild, she had some small ideas and wanted to compete with Li Cheng. Now, it seemed that there was no comparison between the two of them. However, the woman's mentality was very strange. Soon, Purple Rose found a reason. She only heard herself muttering in a low voice, "It's not that I'm too weak, but that netherworld isn't human." Well, that must be the case. A few hours later, according to the mission's guidance, Li Cheng followed the oasis to his destination. This was a strange desert. The color of the desert's sand had turned dark yellow. The further they went, the darker the color became. A few minutes later, the color of the desert had turned pitch black. Now, they could call this place the Black Desert. In the center of the Black Desert stood a pitch black portal. Li Cheng did not hesitate and directly led his troops in. Ding, dong. You've entered the special map. Please, be careful. Ding, dong. An extremely empty area appeared in front of Li Cheng. Looking at the scene in front of him, his pupils constricted. This place was too strange. The entire space was flat. What Li Cheng was concerned about was that the ground here was a little too flawless, a little too flat. This meant that this place was not formed naturally, but was man-made. Suddenly, a transparent spirit slowly appeared in front of Li Cheng. From the looks of it, it seemed to be a man. The man looked at Li Cheng and said, "Human, you're the first creature to break into this place in tens of thousands of years." Looking at the man in front of him, Li Cheng cast a scouting spell and the man's information immediately appeared in front of him. Star Spirit Great Mage. Description: the Great Mage from the astral world has died for some unknown reason and is in a spiritual state. Level: Grade: Mythical, Tier 2. HP: Defense. Skills: Star Spirit. Looking at the information on the interface, Li Cheng's eyebrows twitched. The Star Spirit was a very high-end existence in this world. It looked down on the entire main plane. They lived in a place called the Astral Plane. The most famous creature there was the angels, and the Star Spirit was a resident of the Astral Plane. If Li Cheng remembered correctly, the Star Spirit was born with the strength of a gold-grade being with a natural affinity for magic. With little effort, he would become a legendary grade Great Mage. The Star Spirit in front of him was a mythical grade being. How could he have been killed and turned into a soul? At this moment, the Star Spirit in front of him said, "There's an incredibly evil creature that's sealed here. I've been stationed here for tens of thousands of years. During the war many years ago, I was beaten and turned into a spirit while a few of my companions successfully sealed the evil creature here. However, the seal has loosened a little in recent years, causing all the plants in the surroundings to die and turn into a desert. The other star spirits and I could only temporarily move this place to a special plane. I didn't expect to meet a living person here. Human, can you help me strengthen the seal? In return, I can give you the knowledge from the astral world. The knowledge from the astral world is a supreme existence. It's definitely not something that normal planes can understand." After hearing his long explanation, Li Cheng had a rough understanding of the situation. It seemed that the star spirits had sealed something here. The plot was very old-fashioned. The next step was to help his group strengthen the seal and then get the reward, right? Just as Li Cheng was thinking, the system notification suddenly rang in his ear. Ding, dong. You've triggered a special SSS class mission, strengthen the seal. Ding, dong. You've triggered a special SSS class mission, break the seal. Hint, the two missions are contradictory and cannot be received at the same time. As the system's voice fell, Li Cheng raised his eyebrows. Was there ever such a situation? If so, it was his first time encountering it. Thinking of this, Li Cheng carefully checked the details of the missions. Strengthen the seal, SSS. Mission description: Star Spirit Great Mage has invited you to strengthen the seal hidden underground in the Death Desert. He has promised to give you the knowledge of the astral world after completing it. Mission nature: only hidden. Mission difficulty: 5 million. Mission content: strengthen the seal node, 0/4. Mission reward: astral world knowledge, astral world equipment blueprint. Looking at the mission rewards, Li Cheng felt that it was a little unrewarding. The mission difficulty of 5 million was destined to not have too good a reward. Even if he triggered a 10,000 times amplification, the reward would probably not be much. Thinking about it carefully, it made sense. How could the star spirit casually pass on the important knowledge of the astral plane to others? Thinking of this, Li Cheng shook his head and looked at the details of the other mission. Chapter 199, Is this how the astral world plays? Break the seal, SSS. Mission description: none. Mission nature: only hidden. Mission difficulty. Mission content: kill 4 star spirit great mages, 0/4, and break the seal. Mission reward: Li Cheng, I will help you become a god. Seeing the mission content, Li Cheng's pupils constricted. His entire body was instantly drenched in a cold sweat. What was going on in his mind? This was the first time that his real name had appeared in the game. Had his information been leaked? This thought was quickly rejected. He was very sure that Trelafani and Ella were both tight-lipped and did not mention his real name to anyone. Moreover, the reward of the quest was also very strange. Help him become a god? At this moment, Li Cheng hesitated. He was wavering between the two missions. Although the reward for the first mission was not much, it was more stable. The second mission was too strange. For a moment, he did not know what to choose. In the end, Li Cheng gritted his teeth and made up his mind. *CK The Great Mages of the Astral World. The astral world was a completely unfamiliar plane. Usually, it had a high and mighty attitude. It was known for its kindness and peace. The angels even claimed to be emissaries of justice. However, when Earth was invaded by evil forces, where were they? No matter what, one had to be strong. If one relied on others, it would only lead to destruction. Only when one was strong would others be willing to lend their support. Therefore, Li Cheng was prepared to give it his all. He gritted his teeth and accepted the mission. Ding, dong. The SSS class mission, Break the Seal, has been accepted successfully. After Li Cheng received the mission, the name of the Grand Mage in front of him suddenly became red. The Grand Mage looked at Li Cheng angrily and said, "Human, you have to think clearly." "Oh, I think very clearly," Li Cheng sneered. As his words fell, the heroes had already ordered the troops to focus their fire. As an astral world Grand Mage, the soul in front of him naturally could not be treated with common sense. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website myboxnovel.com. Thanks. He gently waved his staff and his body appeared in the air hundreds of meters away. His body was emitting a bright blue arcane glow. "Human, I didn't expect you to be bewitched by her. In that case, you must be purified." Ding, dong. Warning. Astral World Great Mage is casting Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars summons the power of the stars, dealing 100,000 intelligence damage to all enemies within 20,000 yards. Intelligence and spirit will be permanently reduced by 50%. Looking at the attributes of this skill, Li Cheng's eyelids twitched. This old man did not care about being courteous and just went ahead with his attack? Can he really play? Li Cheng could only describe his skill as ridiculous. The damage of the AoE was so high that he could not even see it clearly. The spatial barrier of the main dimension would probably be broken. On top of that, the side effects of the skill were also very great. After using it once, one's intelligence and spirit would be permanently reduced by half. For a mage, this was worse than death. Oh, right, a mage? When he thought of this, Cheng stopped panicking. The damage factor was very high. As long as it was magic damage, then everything would be fine. Moreover, this skill also had a very obvious weakness, which was that it needed to accumulate power. At this moment, the great mage was raising the magic staff in his hand up high. The tip of his staff was emitting a dazzling light as terrifying energy slowly gathered. In just an instant, all of Cheng's troops received their damage. The few heroines were also extremely anxious as they ordered their troops to activate their ultimate skills. In an instant, all sorts of colorful skills were unleashed and the great mage's health bar was decreasing at a terrifying speed. In less than a second, his health bar had almost bottomed out. The great mage's eyes widened. He did not expect his health bar to decrease so quickly. He could not figure it out. He was a soul body, so he was almost immune to physical attacks. Even if he was beaten to death, he would not have thought that Cheng's troops could deal any real damage. He did not care about any of Cheng's status. This great mage was also a ruthless person. He unleashed all his power and cast a spell. Seeing this, Cheng was shocked. If he used a spell that did not require any stored energy in advance, he would suffer a severe backlash from the spell. As expected, the moment the great mage cast the spell, an extremely terrifying number appeared above his head. -325 billion. Ding, dong. The Astral World Great Mage has killed the Astral World Great Mage. The corners of Cheng's mouth twitched. Were all the beings in the Astral World like this? Since this great mage had committed suicide, the rewards that Cheng could receive were very small. At this moment, the spell cast by the Astral World's great mage had also begun to take effect. For a moment, mysterious starlight appeared in the entire space. The stars formed one bright light pillar after another, and then, they suddenly exploded. The health bars of Cheng's troops did not move at all. Countless numbers floated above their heads. -1. -1. -1. They were all immune to magic damage that was too weak. Perhaps only forbidden spells that dealt at least billions of damage could deal a little damage to Cheng's troops. At this moment, Cheng arrived at the place where the great mage's soul had disappeared. His soul body was directly bombarded by the backlash of the magic energy until there was not a single trace of it left. Although the great mage had committed suicide, Cheng still had heaven-defying luck value, so he still received some spoils of war. Ding, dong. You've triggered a 10,000 times increase and received the Astral Advanced Knowledge, Magic Attack. Ding, dong. You've triggered a 10,000 times increase and received the Astral Advanced Knowledge, Magic Defense. Ding, dong. You've triggered a 10,000 times increase and received the Astral Advanced Knowledge, Healing Spell. Ding, dong. Astral Advanced Knowledge, Magic Attack. Description: Advanced astral knowledge from the astral world is stored in the Research Institute of the Astral Angel Race. Level 1. Grade: Advanced. Effect: After learning, all units' magic attack is increased by 20%. Usage requirement: Intelligence over 1000. Advanced astral knowledge, Magic Defense. Description: Advanced astral knowledge from the astral world is stored in the Research Institute of the Astral Angel Race. Level 1. Grade: Advanced. Effect: After learning, all units' magic resistance is increased by 60%. Usage requirements: Intelligence greater than 1000. Astral Advanced Knowledge, Healing. Description: Advanced astral knowledge from the astral world is stored in the Research Institute of the Astral Angel Race. Level 1. Level: Advanced. Effect: Upon learning, healing spell effect increases by 200%. Usage requirement: intelligence greater than 1000. Chapter 200, The Collective Self-Destruction of the Three Great Mages of the Astral World. 3 books that emitted a special golden light appeared in his backpack. Li Cheng was delighted. Knowledge of the astral world was extremely desired in the entire main plane, as well as countless gods. After learning it, one could strengthen the attributes of all units. Low-level knowledge could be sold for a sky-high price. As for high-level knowledge, he had never heard of its existence even when he had fallen in his previous life. If this news were to spread, the entire continent would shake. Thinking of this, Li Cheng did not hesitate and directly chose to use it. The notification sound of the system rang in his ears. Ding, dong. You've triggered a 10,000 times increase and have learned the astral world's highest level knowledge, magic attack. Ding, dong. You've triggered a 10,000 times increase and have learned the astral world's highest level knowledge, magic defense. Ding, dong. You've triggered a 10,000 times increase and have learned the astral world's highest level knowledge, healing. Ding, dong. Ding, dong. Your army's magic resistance has reached its limit. Ding, dong. Warning. The astral world's highest level of knowledge is a secret of the angel race. It is only for the angel race to learn. If the angel race finds out about this, they will attack your territory. As the system's voice fell, Li Cheng was shocked. After the 10,000 times amplification, he had learned the highest level knowledge of the astral world. He quickly checked the attributes of his newly acquired knowledge. Astral world's highest level of knowledge, magic attack. Description: the highest level knowledge from the angel race in the astral world. Only the most elite angels in the entire astral world can learn it. Level 1. Grade, highest. Effect: all units magic attack increased by 500%. Astral world's highest level of knowledge, magic defense. Description: the highest level knowledge from the angel race in the astral world. Only the most elite angels in the entire astral world can learn it. Level 1. Grade, highest. Effect: all units magic resistance increased by 90%. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website myboxnovel.com. Thanks. Astral world's highest level of knowledge, healing. Description: the highest level knowledge from the angel race in the astral world. Only the most elite angels in the entire astral world can learn it. Grade 1. Grade, highest level. Effect: healing spell effect increased by 500%. It had to be said that the astral world's knowledge was still very useful. The effects of the 3 highest level knowledge were ridiculously strong. All units experienced a 500% increase in magic damage and healing efficiency. Compared to the Profound Empire's research buildings, these bonuses were even more powerful. However, this newly acquired knowledge did not include the buildings in his territory. Hence, the ancient god of science and technology's research log was not triggered. Seeing the final notification, Li Cheng frowned. The angel race was one of the strongest races in the entire universe. Their tracks ran through the entire universe. And the Angel King was a super powerhouse who had been entrusted by the god of creation. Even if those powerful gods saw the Angel King, they had to be polite to him. If these angels were to start a war with him, the entire main plane would probably not have the ability to withstand it for 5 minutes. And the most famous thing about the Angel King was that, just like the son of the Demon King, he was a true god who had directly descended to the main plane. Killing the astral world's great mage would probably anger the astral world. Li Cheng did not think too much about it. In any case, he had already killed the person, so he could do whatever he wanted. If they dared to come to his territory, let them come. Li Cheng's gaze fell on the last item that the astral world's great mage had dropped. Astral World Cage Key, 1/4. Description: a fragment of the key to an astral world cage. The 4 great mages had divided the key into 4 parts. Level 1. Grade, Immortal. Astral World Cage? When he saw these 4 words, Li Cheng's pupils constricted again. If he remembered correctly, there were only 4 astral world cages in the entire world. Even an immortal god would be imprisoned by it. It was said that this was a supreme godly weapon personally created by the god of creation. It was filled with his supreme divine power. Even gods would not be able to break free from it. 2 of the cages were currently imprisoning 2 of the 3 evil gods. Li Cheng completely did not expect an astral cage to appear. The question was, who was this imprisoned creature? Taking a deep breath, Li Cheng temporarily put the key to the astral cage into his backpack. Then, he looked at the 3 red dots indicated by the mission and walked toward them. These 3 red dots were naturally the remaining 3 great mages. They were currently rushing toward Li Cheng's location at high speed. When he saw this, Li Cheng blinked and a smile appeared on his lips. Since this was the case, it would save him the trouble of looking for them. The remaining 3 great mages were incredibly fast. A few minutes later, the 3 of them appeared in front of Li Cheng in their soul states. Human, do you know what you've done? Human. You actually killed the great mage. Human, what's sealed here will bring disaster to the entire lost continent. Why are you trying to save her? Faced with the questions of the 3 great mages, Li Cheng sneered and replied, no reason. Hearing Li Cheng's words, they all stopped talking. The attitude of the human in front of them was very obvious. There was nothing left to talk about. They looked at each other, and then their soul-like bodies began to emit an extremely dazzling light. Ding, dong. Warning! The astral world's great mage is casting the skill, Star Spirit Flare. Ding, dong. Warning! Star Spirit Flare, a powerful spell that only a very small number of star spirits can cast. All the energy in the body explodes to resonate with the endless stars in the astral world. It deals a destructive blow to the enemy. After using it, the user will die without a doubt. Both body and soul will be destroyed. Effect: causes 500 billion intelligence damage to anyone in the surrounding 60 million yards. Seeing this skill, Li Cheng's pupils constricted. These 3 old men are also going to self-destruct without saying a word? Was everyone from the astral world like this? If you don't know how to play, then go back and hug your mother and drink her milk. Is this really the way to play? At that moment, Li Cheng wanted to curse. They were all people who did not care about being courteous. His colleagues also knew that they should self-destruct at the same time. That was because if one of them were to self-destruct, the remaining 2 would definitely be killed. Hence, it was better to self-destruct together to increase the power of the attack. At this moment, a dazzling light suddenly flashed. The entire underground space was illuminated as if it was daytime. 3 extremely terrifying energy blobs began to expand and spread. Then, they exploded. Boom! 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 The violent explosions instantly enveloped Li Cheng's troops, and countless damage figures appeared above their heads. -1. -1. -1.